All righty. Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday, October
Sunday.
Sunday. Oh my gosh, see, Sunday, October 7th. Let me go ahead and mute everybody. Um, Welcome to the call. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. I'm gonna mute everybody, mute all. We have a new person joining us today. Catherine. Hello, good morning. Hi, Ivana. So she is joining us today because I had said to you guys last week if anybody wanted to join that you can invite people on. So Catherine is joining us and we'll see if she likes us. I'm just kidding. You know she's going to like us. And Ivana, I'm going to want you to share after just to share about everything that you've seen or what's been going on. Excuse me. So I know that we're on our book. I didn't read the number 15 because I forgot that I had that one last key left. So I read most of it, but I didn't get to read that last 15. So before we start the book, Ivana, do you want to share a little bit about how Germany was and how the market party, you had 6 guests. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was actually great because even my husband was there. So what the difference is for him, for example, I'm going to share. He said he really enjoyed and he got so much insight and is more in tune just for them being here personally. So, because he hears the Zooms whenever I'm on it or anything like that. So being in person, it's much, I wouldn't say it's better, but it has much bigger impact. So that was really great. I invited a lot of people, some of them are out of town, but they would be at the event if they were not somewhere else already had plans for that day. So I did have 6 people. I followed up with them. Some of them didn't answer me yet, but I can follow up again. One of the ladies, I asked her, hey, what is the best that you liked about the event? And she said the EHD and the wellness juice. And I didn't even ask, hey, what did you like about the product? But she's the one who was talking about the product. Vicky and John being here, it was absolutely wonderful. We didn't have much time before they came, for example. We had this conversation. We ran to the event. They met a whole bunch of people. We set up the projector, so it was really, really good. And then we stayed up late just talking about everything, of course. And I shared with Vicky, it would be really, because we don't have so many regionals here or so many events. And I think I said if we had a little bit more, and I know that's, kind of in a growing stage, the market would go a little bit faster. I believe so, because Germany is really big. And then, for example, driving 5 hours to regional, or I know Olga, she flew. She took the flight in the morning, she went there, and then she took the flight back since she lives closer, kind of to the airport. So that was really wonderful. But inviting people was really, really easy, especially after you build the relationships and being in a kind of a public place. I think that was even better because people just want to show up, they want to support you, whatever event it is. So that's kind of my thing about it.
Well, what's really special and unique about what you're talking and how you said it is that you are the first leader there. So there's a few other brand partners, but between you and the other brand partners, you can create that market party and you can have that once a month or every week or whatever works for your schedule. I would start with once a month just so that you have that and you can continue to invite. And it's, you have an event every month that you can invite to, but you can totally do it yourself. It doesn't have to be a Vicky or John, but I mean, and I can show you, like, we can go through the presentation together on Zoom and I can go through like how I would do it. And you can, because that's how I learned when I first started doing the market parties and I was scared out of my mind. I had one of the leaders do the entire market party with me. And I just took notes every time, everything they said, kind of everything they did. Then I would physically go to the market parties and I would take notes about all the little things they would say, all the little things they inserted. And then I started practicing. And I didn't do bad on my first time because I had listened so many times and practiced so many times that I was able to put in my own verbiage and my own personality to what they said. So we can do that. If you want to start that event, I would say, heck yeah. excuse me, heck yes. And my sister says you could also consider zooming in an expert. So yeah, that can happen too. Like Sharon, when she has her regionals, they have leaders zoom in to the regional. So you can do, you can pretty much facilitate the market party yourself. And then at the end, one of the leaders can come in and just kind of close it like we would in our RP. So we can do that. If you want to do that, let's do that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely interested in doing that. The market parties would probably either, kind of be in the evening or, the weekends. It doesn't really matter. And a lot of what I saw, the businesses, you don't have to pay a fee. It's you get a room or something, but it's free as long as they, either order something or whatever. So that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about that further because I think that would be great for us to start there. And then,
Yeah.
and then also like with Terry and her with Olga and Angela and everybody in that area, we can start talking to them about trying to start some, because I know Olga was super excited about going, taking a picture with Jeff, just sitting in the front row, listening. I mean, she just was so excited, and that's exactly why we say all the time, make sure you get to an event. So it was great to have that happen for her, because I'm sure, how we say every time we go to conference, it builds belief. It builds your why. It builds your like, okay, I get this. I'm here. I understand it. So maybe between all of us, you can even help her, or you can even be a part of it, Okay, good. Awesome, Ivana. Very excited for you. Okay, so let's talk about the book real quick. Anybody have any input or any feedback, anything from the pages that we read, from the whole section we read? If you didn't read it, that's okay. I'm just curious. Anybody has any questions? You didn't read it, Sharon? Look at, she didn't read it. You didn't read it, Sharon? Oh boy. Okay, that's okay. So the thing, like, let me just say real quick. So one of the things, like, from it, and just kind of when I talk to you guys and I hear what you guys say and whatnot about like the reading or any of it, it's a very faith-based book, very faith-based. And there's times there, like, it's like, I know religion and politics is not something we talk about. We don't like to talk about that, some people like myself, because it always creates conflict sometimes. And the thing that I take away from the book, yes, there's that religious background, there's that religious faith belief in it, but it's really getting to the nitty gritty of why we're building our legacy and how to do that, and giving back to people, like the tithing. Is that how you say tith? Is it called what?
Tithing.
Tithing. I'm like, I know I'm not saying this right, but it's like the tithing, and I'll have times where somebody will have like a kid fundraiser, and I'll donate $5 or $10. Oh, I just remembered. I forgot to call that lady yesterday. And I'll do a little bit. I'll do whatever I can do. I'm not going to go crazy with $100 or $200, but I always give, even if I had like I remember I had $60 in my bank account one time. And one of my friends' kids was selling something. And I bought something for like $10. And I'm like, it's okay. I'll be fine. And the next day, I got an extra job and I made a couple extra $100. So it was like, I was worried about that $60 lasting me the week, but I wanted to donate to this little kid's organization because he was so excited and I wanted to help him. And I did it regardless. I was like, okay, I'll just live off of the 50. And then the next day I got another job and I got like a couple $100. So I really believe that we have to try to do that. And that's one of the things for our legacy, because I'll tell you, some of my friends will be like, yeah, Monique, you don't even know my kid and you donate $5, or you don't even know that and you do this. Yes, I do, because not everybody sees those things. People see the things on Facebook where people are saying, oh, my kid's doing this or that, and nobody does anything. And I think it's important that we help people like that. So it was a big thing for me because in that chapter, because I do that. And I know that, I don't give that to the church, but I give it to other organizations. And so I think that's important, because it's like it says, you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. And that was Winston Churchill. And I think that's true. We do make a life by what we give, and it can be, friendship. It doesn't have to be monetarily, but it's an important thing and an important part of our legacy. Anybody else? Kathy? Go ahead, Kathy.
I like the part in the beginning where it talked about our work and working in what we're passionate about. is
Mhm.
doing God's work, because
Yeah.
he wants what's best for us.
Mhm.
And when we're working in our passion, then we are actually doing God's work.
Uh-huh. Isn't that funny? That's what Linda Lindsay talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
It was this exact same thing she talked about, and I wrote it down. Hold on. I took a lot of notes yesterday, really good notes. That was a great training yesterday. But that's what she said. She said, passion equals purpose equals your God-given potential, and it's fulfilled. And so see how things come in alignment, the book, and then that, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's true. It's very true. Anybody else? Sharon?
I have a note in my planner that I wrote back on Thursday, last Thursday, whatever I was reading, and it said, focus on what God is doing in our lives, not what we're doing. And I was like, wow. I kept focusing on me. What am I doing? What am I doing? You know, what do I need to do? And then when I read that, it was like, it struck me. It was like, no, it's what God has guided me to do. And it's not something that I need to direct. So I need to really listen in and hone in and pay attention and just follow the gut, I guess, feelings that you get instead
Yeah.
of trying to figure everything out.
Right, right. Absolutely. Yeah, awesome. Let me see a couple of things that I've put. Let's see. We learned through observation what was right and normal, but sadly, we were never told there was more to the picture. Isn't it right? I mean, isn't that true? We always look at something right or wrong, but not to the big picture. Kind of what you just said. You got to look at that big picture because it's in his creation. And then when I first started reading, I had posted this. 1 out of 6 Americans is content with his or her job, which means nearly 83% are dissatisfied. How can people live like that? And I posted that, and that was one of my things I posted this week. Anyways, okay, so let's see. So this next time, finish the reading you didn't read, because I have to finish some of mine. And then the next is part 5, setting life in order. So it's just part 5. Let's see how long it is. Oh, part 5 is short. So you'll be able to catch up on some of your reading, and you'll be able to read part 5. And then we're almost done. We just have part 6. We're almost done. So then we can start our new book. So part 5 is the next section. I wanted to share with you today about a couple things from regionals yesterday. I know that most of you were there. Let's see, almost all of you were there. But I want to share a couple nuggets that I got, and then if anybody else wants to add some of the nuggets you guys got from regionals, please definitely add it in. It was a really good training. I mean, we have such incredible leaders, and yes, in Ivana, I'm sorry, you don't get to see them all the time, and it's tough, but when we're blessed to be able to go and see them, and we had five of them up there talking, 5 NMDs talking to us yesterday, and just like very clear and concise, a little bit about the compensation plan, a little bit about goal planning and your commitment. And I think Gary did amazing, just because to hear that man's perspective and then what he had to offer about cold market was huge. I mean, just his verbiage, just some of the things he said. And then of course, Anna, with some of her things. And I recorded one of the things she said. It was like 8 minutes, and I was going to put it on Focus 20. I didn't know if we could hear it. I have to listen to see if I can hear it. Anyways, so a little bit, Misa was talking about goals and just, it's all about mindset, and we know that. And so just really being clear on your mindset when you're going through your day, no matter what it is, if it's your work or if it's your exercise or if it's your, nearing business or if it's your family, just really having that positive mindset and really seeing what you want to accomplish. Like, write it down and see what you want so that you know what you're going after. Because if you don't physically read or see what you're going for, your brain does not know what you're going for. Like, it needs to see it all the time. And I didn't get this until I started Miriam. But you really, and I used to tell people all the time, like, write down what you want to be senior director, write it down all over your house. I'm going to be senior director by December 31st. Have it written in a 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11, everywhere. I'm going to be senior director. My sister is great at this. You should see her house. She's got stuff everywhere. I have stuff everywhere. I read my affirmations. I see my dream board. And I know some of you probably do. And then I have this wall behind me that has all my positive affirmations. But And you know what? I have this wall. I never read them, just so you know. That's terrible. I walk in my room. I never read them. But have it where you can see it and it's in front of your face. And it's just a goal. If you don't hit that goal, then you don't hit that goal. You just make another date for that goal. You just keep going for it. So you have to visually see it. One of the things like Nancy King went over, and it's so important that all of us really focus on these three things, and it's the CAB, the CAB, and Sharon, it was funny because when she did this yesterday, it's exactly what I did with you the other day, showing you how much you could make by the end of the month if you just followed this with the 9 PCs. So the CAB and then the CCV, and then your QV, but your CAB bonus making, I believe all of us on here are at 9 customers, so we're making the max, but that's how you can, when you're coaching your new brand partners and you're coaching your new team members, if they want to know how much they're making, they want to know what it's about. And if you can just focus and show them, like I did with Sharon the other day, okay, so if you get your 3rd customer, you're going to get 16%, you're going to get this percent, you're going to get 26%. And then at the end, if it's based on $100, this is how much money you make. And then with the $100 bonus, you'll make that. And then you'll make this. And if you can do that with your brand partners, even, the newest ones or the ones who are in your business who don't have any idea, they'll see the money part to it. And I don't go into a lot of the compensation plan, but this is easy to show them. So if you guys who were there, you guys know that. And then CCV, I am very bad about really keeping an eye on my CCV. I don't look at my CCV until like 3 days before the last Wednesday of the month. And I realized yesterday I've been leaving a lot of money on the table, because if you get over that 1,001, you make 25%. So 25% of 1,001 is $250. Well, I started looking at some of my commission checks and I was getting $60 or $80 on that. When I was this close, I could have gotten $250 on that. And it's repeat customers or your personal orders. So when you look at your CCV, make sure every month, like right now, go in there and see if any orders have gone through. What's your CCV at? Where is it at? The 23rd is when you get the gauge of where it really is, and that's when you go back to your old customers to see who wants to order to get that number up. And then in our back office, we have the price sheet that shows the CCV of each product, so you need to look for that. Go into the I believe it's under Brand Partner Resources under Marketing Center. That's how I found that thing, Kathy. That's how when I posted that picture, yesterday I popped up, I was like, where did this come from? It's great. It's a great thing for us to print up. So find that too and print it up. It's got all of our products on there. Linda talked about growth, and I like this part that she said, 3 parties, 9 PCs, 3 parties, 9 PCs. She's like, that's what she does with each brand partner. 3 parties, 9 PCs, so that they have something to just focus on. And I love that. If we all just focused on 3 parties, 9 PCs every month, we'd have money in our pocket. We'd get if we do 3 parties, 9 PCs, 9 new PCs, we'd have, let's just say 26%, and we make $100 and you have 9 new customers. That's, what did we say? Figure out 26% of not $26, right? So 26 of 9, 100, 200. You like how I count my fingers? Like 200 and something dollars extra. I know we all could use that. And then we have 3 parties. I bet you're going to have brand partners. And again, when I hear these are things that I know. These are things that I used to do. It's party to party. I love the intentionality that they were so clear about. And I forget this, and I'm probably not the only one. Asking our friends to just host a party for us. And Nancy King said that she did it. She had to go to Chicago, and she just called up her friends, and she said, hey, can you have a party for me? Can we have a couple people over and I'll bring a bottle of wine and some cheese? Couple people, just a couple people. And her friends were like, sure, no problem. We need to leverage our friends. They want to buy it. They don't want to buy it. It doesn't matter. We need to ask them, hey, can you do me a favor? I'm building this business. I need to share with more people the products. I know you want to support me. You've always, encouraged me and supported me. Can you invite a few friends over? I'll bring the wine and the cheese. And then if people buy stuff, I'll give you a product for free, or, and most of the time they probably won't want it, or they do, but let's leverage our friends more. We're looking at our friends that we've talked to about the products, and we keep talking to the same people, or we're trying cold market, but let's leverage those people that are either already purchasing, or leverage those people who always have said no, but still want to support, and they'll still jump on the Zooms just to listen, or they'll still be your guest at a party, but they don't want to buy anything. Ask them if they'll have a party for you. I challenge you guys to do that. Just say, hey, will you have a few friends over for me? Because then it's cold market for you, but it's also exposure for you. What do you guys, yeah, yes, yeah? Okay. It's weird when it's muted because then I don't know what you guys are thinking. Anybody have anything to add to any of that I said so far? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I do.
Okay.
I have something to add to that. You know, I was pleasantly surprised, you guys, when I met up with a friend that I hadn't seen in a while. And I waited to the end of our sit down. And then that's when she said, well, my husband is really into anti-aging. Why don't you come over to the house? And I go, well, if you'd be open and you want to just, you know, she goes, do you do parties? It was like every person's dream sit down. And I said, I do. Why don't I just come over and, you know, give sisters and friends. Long story short, she ended up signing as a brand partner, and she signed 4 customers under her. Now, I have a sit down with her this Saturday coming up. She's a very busy woman, but I don't know if she'll do anything in the business, but that was a complete surprise. So I do just encourage you guys to do that 100 text challenge and do those sit downs, because you never know what's going to come out of those. But your dear friends, like Monique said, without even expecting them to buy anything, we never know what's going to happen to come out of those. And I've had some pretty good fortune with that approach off and on throughout my business. So definitely something. But I'll wait till you're done, because I had a couple of things I wanted to add about the book. So yeah, I wanted to just add that on regarding what you said about the RPs.
Okay. Thanks. And Laura, you know, and there's proof in the pudding when we do these things. And I want to say, you know, my sister is busy. Probably just as busy as most of us. And I mean, more, maybe she's definitely a lot more busy than I am. She has her full-time job. She doesn't have a family, but she's got her dogs, and she goes, you know, there's things with them. She's got our mom, she's got her thing. I'm gonna tell you, in my whole entire group of 200 plus team members, she's always consistently number 1 or number 2 in customers. And we're not talking number 1 and number 2 with a couple $100. We're talking a couple $1,000s worth of customers. Every single month, her entire time she's been in this business. She has customers getting day cream free for life. So if you want to know about customers, you want to up your game, your customer game, talk to my sister. She's got it down pat. And I'm going to tell you what it is. She follows the system. She does more 3-way calls than any of us combined. She goes out of her box. She does the activities that are presented to us. And she fits it in little bits by little bits by little bits, wherever she can fit it in. And then she makes the time for certain things, and she does she does it. And then her house is a mess one day, and then I go the next day and her house is clean the next day. I'm like, what the heck did she do? How'd she do that? She do that in between her 3-way calls, or she did it while she did 3-way calls? So, if you have any questions about customers, I'm telling you, got to talk to my sister, because I was looking at the numbers the other day, and she has brought in so much money for herself based on customers. She has brand partners, but customers is where, when you are consistently that good, you're consistently that good. So talk to her about that. Okay, go ahead, Sharon.
Yesterday at our regional, we had Lisa Tuvey from Canada Zoom in with us, and her 45-minute presentation turned into an hour, 20-minute presentation on how to do RRPs.
Oh, nice.
Hers was all about RRPs and how to do it properly and how to do it right. And her take on it was that it's not about going out, they tell you in the beginning, if you want 6 people there, go out and invite 30 people. She said what you do is you focus on those 6 and get those 6 and build the relationship. Then you get them there, and then that's where the magic happens. So if she did say she does have the training of this on YouTube, I guess, that she did initially, but there are certain parts that were cut out. It was like a 20-minute presentation. But if you'd like the information on it, I could probably send you the information, because we have it on our Northern Virginia's Miriam site.
Awesome.
So
maybe you can post it. You could probably share it to the Focus 20 group.
yeah, I'll try to see if I can do it. I'll send it to you guys. But it was really, really interesting.
Awesome.
And she's got all kinds of tools and stuff that she uses. Less things to take, the best, is what she said.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything?
Yes, I do. I wanted to add a little, Sharon, that's an awesome idea. And I totally can see what you mean. When you develop those relationships with people prior to them walking in your door, you have 5 strong or 6 strong somethings. And instead of it being a numbers game where we just met somebody at the market and they walk in our house and we're not really sure we know them or not. And even though that's not bad, but yeah, I can't wait to see it, Sharon. Thank you for that share. I'm very, very interested. I wanted to just bring reference to something. Thank you, first of all, Monique, for, gosh, I didn't know, for about the customer thing. I love the customer acquisition, and just real quickly, that's foundationally our business. Customer acquisition is foundationally our business. Yes, brand partners are important, customer getters, but customers is what will keep our checks going. So one day I'm looking forward to training on that. So on page 155, one of the things that our business will only grow is if we multiply ourselves and duplicate ourselves. And that's probably been my biggest challenge, ladies, because I've always had linear positions and worked by myself and relied on myself. And the art of delegation was super difficult for me. But the way I got better at it is as I got older and more mature. That's how delegation helped for me. And I understood how to let go and let people do it. But there's a really interesting page, really interesting information on page 155 where he talks about making multiplication commonplace. And he says, here are some of the reasons why people don't multiply. So when you get a chance, take a look at this list, read it out loud to yourself, and ask yourself where you fall into that. Like, just for one example, lack of vision. If you lack vision, and Monique mentioned that earlier about visualizing, when I used to compete in fitness, I visualized what my body was going to look like when I got on stage so I could win. And so I looked at pictures on what I needed to do physically to train and to eat right, to look that way on stage. When we can visualize, we will accomplish no matter what, hands down. When we visualize the negative, how many times have we gotten the negative because we visualized that it didn't work out, right? So visualization, just that one point. Wanted to just mention that. And then lastly, about the training yesterday, it was one of the best things about all 5 people is they made it super, super simple. And how many of us overcomplicate things? I think all of us on this line are guilty of playing small. We are short-sighted at times in our business. So one big takeaway that I'm going to do starting today is I'm going to print out the FSQs on the Bahamas trip, and I'm going to put it at my desk, and I'm going to read it every day. I'm going to put that at the front of my prefrontal cortex and remind myself of why I'm running so hard for 10 brand partners this month. And you could ask Monique. She can look on my whiteboard in my room. My goal is 10 brand partners this month. That scares me to say it, and you guys, it overwhelms me sometimes. But I'm going to play big because all I have is now. And last night I had an unfortunate situation with my mom. And it challenges me. That's when my personal development really is important. And I'm going to play big because all I have is now. When I see that, it's not going to be me. But it just reminds me, so you guys might have something in your life that keeps tugging at you like that too. So play big, don't play small, you guys.
Okay, anybody else want to talk? Okay, Sarah, go ahead.
Hi guys. Okay, so just full disclosure, I am not driving any longer. I just pulled into my driveway. Laureen, thank you real quickly. You just inspired me. I'm realizing one of the things that I'm missing on my vision board is my large team, my large Nerium family. I have a lot of my personal goals that I want to see happen, but I don't have a lot of, or any of, that support that really helps me get there. And you're right, it is with our team that we grow. And I need to get a picture of my team, my Nerium family up there so that I know that visually that's how I'm going to reach that goal. And that's how I'm going to reach my other goals of supporting people. I've got to have the people there to support, right? So thank you. One of the other things I was going to share, going back to the RPs, now that you guys are all crying because that makes me want to cry. One of the other things that I'm going to change the topic on, going back to RRPs, I found really, really helpful last year. And in fact, it was the first month, November of 2017 was the first month in my business where I hit the 1001 plus CCV. And the way that I did that was by building relationships. So last November, I held my first annual customer appreciation dinner. And so I'm going to hold my second one this November, next month. I'm really excited about it. I'm getting all the plans together. I'm going to do things differently. But my customer appreciation event is not an RRP. It truly is a customer appreciation. So last year I let my folks kind of lead it. I think I had 6 or 7 people there. I invited something like, I don't know, 30. I had 6 or 7. I was pretty content with that. And I let them lead it. They ended up leading me into a discussion about the products. I ended up getting some additional people who ordered. I did eventually, a few months later, end up getting a BP from that as well. But this year, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm going to invite people to play games and to get to know each other a little bit better, and to, all of those different things that you normally see sort of at parties. I'm kind of reminded of when I was younger, we had a big backyard, and, when I was like, I don't know, 8, we'd have kids over and we'd do like, egg races, and, things like that. We're not going to do egg races, but, that sort of concept where you've got activities set up for people to join in if they want to. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think building those relationships and showing that it's not all just about the business. It's also about, or not all about the purchases is what I mean. It's also about building a community and about really appreciating the support that you get. It's really important. So I'll let you guys know how that goes, but I'm really excited. Last year was great, and I expect this year to be even better. So keep building the relationships, because that really is what helps us to get where we are.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Sarah. It's, you know what, you reminded me, because Lori can even tell you, when I started the business, that's what I used to do that. I used to do customer appreciation, and I used to do it probably once a quarter. I didn't do it once a year. I did it once a quarter, and I would invite customers, and, it was just about talking. It was about hanging out. We'd have, coffee, whatever. I did whatever I wanted to do, is either brunch or it was coffee or whatever, but I used to do it all the time. I forgot about that. You just reminded me. And one of the, so that's something to think about. Your customers that you've had, send them an invitation and say, I just want to thank you for being a customer. Come on over for a glass of wine and let's hang out. I want to hear about what's going on. Come meet some more positive people. And I think it's phenomenal. That's great. I can't wait to hear more about it, Sarah. And games are always fun. And even a little takeaway, to give them something. I don't know, you can find like a bookmark or something, or, whatever. That's awesome. And what I was gonna add to that about that, what was I gonna say? Oh, and also with our customers, they're usually our friends we see on a regular basis, or sometimes they're customers that they're our friends, but we're afraid to call them because we don't want them to cancel their order. I mean, I'm just being real. Sometimes you don't want to call to make sure, you don't want them to cancel, but keep those relationships going, and don't talk Nerium all the time with them. I mean, I have a few of my customers that I see on a regular basis. I see them on a regular basis, and we hang out, and I never talk about Nerium until their order's ready, until it's time for them to, place their order, because I have a lot of customers that change their order around every single month. So we don't talk Nerium until it's time to change their order, and they give me the most CCV. I mean, the CCV that comes out of those people that I have develop those relationships with more and more and more, it's usually over $200 or $300 every single month. And that's just one. There's two of my customers. So actually I lie, 3 of my customers are like that. So I have 3, and I mean, Lori has one customer that buys like $700 worth of product a month. That's ridiculous. And she's not a brand partner. Oh, can you guys wrap your brain around that one? She buys $700 worth of product, and she's not a brand partner, but she's
a veteran. She's a veterinarian. She is a mama too. She's very busy. She takes care of her mother, and she doesn't want any of her sisters to have good skin like her. Bottom line.
Yeah, she doesn't want to share the products because she wants to look her best. Anyways, but yeah, those are awesome things to think about. That extra step you do with your customers for that customer retention. I saw some. Okay, anybody else have anything to add to that or share about the customer part? Oh, and then Lori, yeah, she put on the chat her the mailer. Lori, talk about that real quick.
So sometimes, and first of all, Sarah You're amazing because I mean, you're so cute to watch and talk. And when I see you with your crazy pictures and your hair messed up and your hair look good, I mean, you're very, I think you should be a comedian because you're very, unless you already are a comedian, you're very, very, you're great. And your smile's just infectious. But to have a party, amazing. I would love to have a party. But like my veterinarian customer, she's so busy, I have to go to her. So I'm making the suggestion about a mailer, put a little bit of dollars behind it, create a really cool graphic that says customer appreciation. Maybe have a graphic artist do it where it's a real pretty spread on a nice cardstock so that you can print a lot and have them. And, you know, you could say customer appreciation, maybe put some little golden stars on it. You could put a gift card in there with the Starbucks, take the customer appreciation to them and mail them quarterly to your customers. And to your brand partners, you could put a little insert card in there that says customer referral, redeem something on that. So every time they give you a customer referral, then they can redeem something like a sampling of the newest products or a gift card to Starbucks or a gift card to Target. $5 off of anything is nice. And they'll remember you that way. And sometimes people that are busy, they like the mailer instead, and it saves you time. So the money you would spend on a party, it's not being indifferent, it's taking the party to them. I'm learning I have to take the party to them. When I do Zooms or when I talk to people, I have a virtual cup of coffee or wine, they say to me, wow, I take the excuse away also. And then, of course, I'll follow up and say, did you get my customer appreciation card? So that's something to consider. The other thing I want to say to you guys, and I'm really excited about this, it's taking some planning for me. And it's not going to happen yet, but I'm going to do a photo shoot, and I'm going to start branding myself as to what I want to do. In that branding, I want to create some kind of a card so that I can quarterly mail to my customers. Remember what they always tell us. People will follow people who know where the hell they're going. And when you create that strong why, because I don't necessarily want to wear a business suit in downtown LA with my hands on my hips and saying, come follow me. That's not necessarily what I want to do, although that's who I am. So I'm excited about that. And I just think that that might go somewhere. That might give me some mileage. But I just want to insert that real quick so you guys can start thinking about it, because it takes money to do that. And it takes some planning to do that. And don't wait till you lose the right amount of weight to take your pictures, because that's a farce. Just be who you are in that moment when you're ready. And so anyways, all that to say that mailer could very much be something. I haven't done a mailer yet. So when I do, I'll show you what it looks like. But just do anything right now with cards. I think it would help you if you don't want to do a customer appreciation or have a home to do it in right now.
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead, Ivana.
Sorry, I just wanted to, it was kind of funny because I think me and Lori are on the same page. I'm just talking to a photographer right now about this. And it's not, you know, the thing about, oh, we need to do, somebody needs to do a photo shoot. It's not, but I just thought of it, and I actually talked to her a long time ago. I don't know, just something kind of, I think it would be cool. And, you know, same like Lori said, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that, and it was funny.
That is funny. Well, and it does, I mean, you brand yourself, then you're easily remembered. I mean, you hear it all the time about branding, and I mean, some of you guys do it in your other businesses. I mean, you brand yourself in your real estate business, you brand yourself in your furniture business. I mean, you guys all do it with your other businesses as well. And so doing it this way, you know, it leads to what I was going to finish with what Gary talked about, and kind of a little bit about Linda and Gary. He talked my talk, so to say, because it's exactly what I say all the time. And it's true. It's like, we have a gift and we don't share it with enough people because, like Lori said, we play small. We just don't, we stand there in the line, like talking to ourselves. What are we going to say to that person? How are we going to talk to the person? Should we do? How should I, blah, blah, blah. And then you lost your moment. You lost the moment talking to that person, but you don't know what that moment could have been for that person. And it could have changed their life. And we have to get out of that comfort zone. We have to not worry about that fear. And one of the things he's like, you need to remember that 15 seconds of courage, and action replaces fear. And then just be you, compliment, interest or whatever, but just do it, because you don't know where those people are in their life, and you may be able to change their life. We have products and a business that can change somebody's life. And we have a culture of people, and we have each other. We have this amazing gift that we just don't share with enough people. Oops, sorry. Would you agree? I mean, would you agree that we just don't share it with enough people? And
Yes.
oh, I heard a yes. Yes. Okay. Catherine. That was Catherine.
Yes.
Yes. And so it's really something that we need to really do self-talk to ourselves every day when we leave and say, okay, who am I going to bless today? Whose life am I going to impact? Whose life is going to, just change because of me today? Every day we need to leave our domain like that. Every day. And you don't know what can come out of it. I mean, perfect. There's 2 examples of yesterday for me. So you can ask, Rob and everybody who goes out with me and whatnot. I have a lot of patience, but I don't get irritated by people who are irritated. Okay. You'll see where I'm going with this. If somebody cuts me off, I just go, well, they must have had to go somewhere. Like, I don't go, oh, the person cut me off. I don't get all angry. I don't get aggro. So yesterday in the market, I was just at the grocery store doing something. I was looking for something in the meat department, and I'm looking and I'm trying to look, and I'm not paying attention around me. And I think I must have probably ran into this one girl twice with my basket because I was not paying attention. And I said, I'm so sorry. She was like, oh, she was so mad. She was all irritated. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. And then she came in front of me, and she's like, I'm just trying to get ground beef. I'm just trying to get in front, rah, rah, rah. And I go, I'm really sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to cut you. I'm sorry. And she looked at me, she goes, it's okay. I just have a teething 2-year-old and I need to get the hell out of this market. She goes, it's not you, it's just me. And I said, that's okay, no problem. And she just went on her way, and she was like, and if I would have reacted in a negative way with her, it would have just made it more negative for her. But then she walked away going like, okay. And she breathed. She just breathed. And she had to leave because she had a teething 2-year-old that was driving her nuts. But we don't know what we're coming across every day. Is my whole thing with that, is you don't know where they're at, where they're coming, where they're going. You don't know that. And then I did an eye serum demo when I grabbed a cocktail on my way home with this guy who's trying to tell me no about everything. And I'm just like, can I borrow your eyeball for a second? I need a picture. Do I think it's going to amount to anything? I don't know, but I got a good before and after picture. And now he's friends with me on Facebook, and he can see what I do, and he'll see, and who knows what's going to come about it. I could have easily just not done it, and I could have just been like, whatever, and walked away and not did it. But I'm always going to do that. I'm just like, oh, Lori's the same. I mean, we're always going to talk about what we do, because you just don't know who you're going to come in contact with. You don't know who needs it. What we have, where we're going right now, guys, don't leave it on the table for nobody to have. That is not who we are. And you can open your cell phone, and you can go through your numbers, and I can guarantee you 80% of the people in your phone still do not know what Nerium is from you. And what's going to happen is that when you get the courage to call that person, they're going to say to you, oh, I just joined Nerium with this person at the grocery store. And you are going to kick yourself. I'm telling you, because it's happened to me. It has happened to me. And you can't wait. We're going into full momentum with 3-month run, this entire October, November, December. I want to bless lives. I want to change lives. I want to help people have extra money for Christmas. I want to help people have better skin. I want to help people with their wellness. I'm not playing small. And that's what he said yesterday. That's what Gary said. We're always making ourselves small because we're comparing. We have self-doubt. All that negative is always at the forefront of our brain. Every single person, that is what comes to the forefront of our brain. Every personal development book you read, they'll tell you that's always at the forefront of our brain. We need to push that back, and we need to think the positive. We need to think the blessings. We need to think what we can do to change somebody's life and not react to them in a negative fashion. We got to just be that positive person that's changing lives every single day of our life. So I went on my rant. Anybody else have anything to share? Terry, go ahead.
It's, I'm just piggybacking on, I thought Gary was amazing yesterday. I had never really heard him speak. I was like, whoa, that was really great.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of good nuggets. And to piggyback on what you said is that, we do have a gift, and it's the analogy of the diamond ring. I'm sure it's all in everyone's notes. If I give someone a diamond ring and they don't take it, does it lose its value? No, it doesn't lose its value. Sad for them, but it doesn't. So that's the gift we have. People just don't know what they don't know. So I just wanted to piggyback on that. And then, we've all heard this before about, when we're talking to people, we're forming them, family, occupation, and all that, always talk about, never criticize, like they say they're a teacher, and, we've all heard this before, but I think it's, for those that weren't there yesterday, it's worth repeating that. Tell them everything that's good about it. Oh, you must love teaching. And then they'll tell you what's terrible about it. And then you can take it from there. But anyways, I just wanted to, it'll open the door.
Yeah.
If they say, well, yeah, I don't have any freedom, or time freedom, or I don't have any money, or, that's that open door for us. So anyway, I just wanted to remind everyone of that.
Did you just see Lori's comment? She wants to marry you if you look like that every morning you wake up. She says, if you look like you do right now when you wake up, can I marry you?
Yes, I haven't even washed my face yet or brushed my hair. Come on.
You look very pretty,
Lori.
Terry. You look very pretty, Terry.
Okay, Lori, meet me in the park.
But yeah, no, what you said, Terry, is true. I mean, it's true. Don't criticize what they do. And I think all too often we will say, oh yeah, you probably hate your job, or you hate your hour. And we do that because we're trying to be sympathetic, we think. But you're right. I mean, what he said was so on point about, oh, that's awesome. And you always think, like you just said, you think the positive, you share, oh my gosh, it's so great. You probably see kids, whatever they do, and they're always going to tell you what they don't like about it. And I thought that was genius. It was great. I mean, yeah, it was really cool what he said. I agree with what you said and how he did it, and the mindset and just all of that part of it. Anybody else before we close out? Anybody? We have to wait. Ivana said she'd be right back, so we had to. Oh, Catherine.
Yes. Yes,
Catherine.
please. Hi, everyone. I just want to thank you so much for welcoming me to your group. And since I've been with Vicky's team, I have felt reborn, because I have really never felt, the family part of Miriam until now. And I love all the nuggets we're sharing right now. And yesterday's regional was like off the charts. And I am looking forward to growing with all of you. And I just want to thank you again for welcoming me. I'm just on cloud nine.
Oh, you're so welcome. And Catherine, do you know how to turn your video on, or you don't want to?
I do, but I don't look as good as Lori does right now. Or you, or anybody else on right now.
Okay, no problem. But welcome to this. We're pretty dynamic ladies. Definitely, we we do this. Our Zooms are every Saturday at 9 a.m. But because of regionals, I changed it to today at 8. And the reason I did 8 is because I'm a football person and I watch football. So that starts at 10. So I didn't want to cut into the football time because I still have to do my fun stuff. Welcome, definitely. And we're glad to have you. And Sarah, I know I have to call your friend. This week was ridiculous for me. I did not call her, but let's invite her for next Saturday, and I will call your brand partner to get her on too. So I apologize. I did not get a chance to get a hold of her. I see back. I see somebody's back. So I will do that. And then read that. We're going to read that about the book. We're going to read our book, that part. What did I say? Hold on. Part 5. And then one last thing before we go. One last thing is good luck, Lori. One last thing is to reach out to Solange, send her a message personally. Her niece did pass away yesterday, and I know we all saw that, but just reach out to her as near and family and just kind of say you're thinking about her and her family. And she's, they've lost a lot of people in the past few years, but this was just a shocker for them all. So just keep her in your prayers, and reach out to her. On a side note, just reach out to her and say, I'm thinking about you, girl, love you, missed you on the Zoom. Her first thing yesterday after I sent her my message, she goes, did you take notes at regionals so that I can have notes from regionals? I go, yes, I took notes for you. So she's still, thinking about all of us. So, okay, let me take our group picture. Ivana's not back, but we'll take our group picture. All right. Let's see. All right, your names are there, so that works. Man, my face looks tired. Hold on. Okay, smile. Let me check it. Everybody's smiling. All right, guys. Have a fantastic Sunday. Have a beautiful day. It's beautiful here today. And Kathy Prushaw, thank you for telling us too late that you had a ticket to the Keith Urban concert last night. Thanks for telling us late. We would have all probably gone.